name is Kayleigh and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So last time out we featured Myona, who is the opposite of a meta pick, and you guys seem to really enjoy it. So there will definitely be more episodes of the Spy series to come in the future. I'm just not saying the name of said series because then I don't have to bleep out the swear word. Talking of the future, I'm also hopefully going to have an upload schedule I can stick to going forwards. So I'm hoping to do a video Monday and Wednesday evenings GMT, and possibly the odd bonus video on a Friday evening, depending on how much time I've had that week. Okay, enough about the future, let's do right now. So today's video is a team showcase on Tropius. Thank you again to Mohammed for sending me my Trop. So I'm running Tropius on the lead with Air Slash as a fast move. I chose Air Slash because I wanted coverage for the fighters and the grass types. And also, Tropius can still beat the big water types, so Azumarill and Swampert, even without running Razor Leaf. Air Slash has faster energy generation, so you actually get to Leaf Blade faster, making it kind of more effective against the water types. So for coverage, to cover the weaknesses of Tropius, I've gone for a very typical pairing, and that is Galarian Stunfisk. I know, take a shot every time Kayleigh makes a video featuring Galarian Stunfisk. But in my defense, he is a really strong core with Tropius. Rock Slide will hit for super effective damage against fire types, flying types and ice types, and Stunfisk's ground moves are going to be super effective against the fire types, the rock types and the electric. So all of Tropius' weaknesses are covered very well by Galarian Stunfisk. Now, often this core is paired with Defense Deoxys, but I don't have one and I wanted to go for something a little bit different anyway, so I went for Mew. I love running Mew mainly because the massively varied moveset means you can usually pressure a shield even if you're locked into a matchup where you don't actually have the right moves for that Pokemon. Plus, running Wild Charge and Surf, this gives me coverage against flying types with Wild Charge and rock and fire types with Surf. Plus, a lot of the ice types you'll see are actually water-ice combos like Celio, Lapras, so Wild Charge can often help with the ice types that are going to be giving issues to Tropius too. So that's the team, let's jump into some battles. Alright, we're going in with our very first matchup with Tropius. We're picking up a positive lead here based purely on fast moves. They're running Counter, which is resisted by my flying. I'm running Air Slash, which does super effective against their fighting type. They switch into a Clefable and I overfarm a tad before coming in with Stunfisk. My reasoning for this is Stunfisk can resist everything Clefable has to throw at it. Moonblast, Meteor Mash, all resisted, as well as Charm of course, by that steel typing. So I have no need to worry, I can just farm away with my Stunfisk, eat whatever charge move this is that's coming in. Let's have a look. It is a Moonblast, that's resisted by steel typing. Now I can overfarm a little bit before throwing my Rock Slide. I should have overfarmed a tiny bit more there, I think, but I wanted to make sure I didn't have to eat another charge move. Now Blaziken's coming in, doing super effective, fighting on steel, but I get to a Rock Slide because of that little bit of overfarm on the Clefable. This forces a shield because Rock's super effective against fire, and then I can come in with Tropius. I have a loaded Air Slash, which I presume will KO if unshielded, but I wouldn't be surprised if they shield this and then dip. They shield, I'm expecting the dip, so I swap as well and get very lucky with what is in the back. They have an Empoleon and I have Wild Charge and they have no shields. Now normally with Wild Charge on Mew, I will farm up to 2 before throwing 1 because it lowers your defense. So any fast moves that come through after you've thrown hit for quite a lot of damage and Mew is squish. But I knew I had a 2 shield advantage, meaning I could throw, come into my next Pokemon and definitely get to a Surf before they were able to farm me down and throw charge moves because of course with shield charge move damage isn't going to hit. So there we go, we managed to take that one with 1 shield in hand. I got really lucky there with not only my lead but whatever they happened to have in the back was really weak to a Wild Charge Mew. Alrighty, going into our second game. We're fighting Anto M1703, wearing a really cool Pikachu Libra hat. And the leggings too. Okay, Tropius on Garvantula. Now, this is a positive lead, but while I was playing these sets, this was the first time I'd ever used Tropius, and I didn't realise that was in fact a positive lead, so I switched out to Stunfisk. This lured in an Azu, which of course is going to kick my poor Stunfisk's butt, but we're going to try our best. So my plan here, what I always do when fighting an Azu locked in with my Stunfisk, is throw Earthquake first. Azu users hate to shield the first move because Azu is so bulky and it would suck to shield up for a Rock Slide. So the second time I will bait because they've just been hit by one Earthquake, and a second Earthquake will take them very low into the red or potentially even take them out. So there is the shield. Now, if you manage to sneak a fast move through, you can get to that second Rock Slide. But sadly, this time we couldn't, and an Ice Beam is going to take me out. You can also get to that Rock Slide if they're running Play Rough Hydro Pump because they're not as fast as Ice Beam. Now, we come back in with our Tropius. We're firing Leaf Blade almost straight away because I do not want to have to shield up against an Ice Beam. This means I can retain that 2 shield advantage. They're coming back in with Galvantula. All their moves are hitting for neutral, but of course Volt Switch is quite a hard hitting move, so it still does a decent chunk. Lunge as well has that lovely attack debuff, which we really didn't want. Now I'm going to throw a Leaf Blade. Galvantula users, as a rule, will shield up pretty much anything because Galvantula is so squish. There we go. Now they're coming in with a Skarmory and I'm switching into the Mew. Now luckily for me, Mew has got Wild Charge and they have no shields left, which will hit for a super effective, but thanks to some weak connection there, we miss a couple of our fast moves. But we still manage to get to a Wild Charge before they get to a second Sky Attack, and that is really what we need from Mew here. So Mew hits for the Wild Charge, which doesn't KO the Skarmory. My defense is down and they end up farming me down before I can throw Surf, which is really annoying. I think I over-tapped there, which sucks. And because of that over-tap, we bring in Tropius, whose head is taken off by that shield. We shield at the Brave Bird, which is fine. We'd have shielded an Aerial Ace anyway. And I come in ready to throw my own Aerial Ace. I just realised Skarmory is Sky Attack, not Aerial Ace. Ignore me. But we lose CMP with that Galv, but they throw a move which is not going to KO because it's hitting for neutral. My move is also hitting for neutral, so won't KO. So it becomes a fight of the fast moves. But because my fast move is faster than theirs, I end up taking them out. Alright, match number 3 against Alamia 3-3. Side note, how cute does Tropius look with his little banana leaves rustling in the wind? I love him, I'm so attached. Okay, Tropius versus Azu. This is a 1 lead for me. Even if it's running Ice Beam, which is going to hit for double super effective, I outpace. That said, should not have thrown here. I should have waited in case they were going to try and catch. They don't know, they let the Leaf Blade hit and they just keep going. So I'm just going to keep going myself, and I managed to sneak through an Air Slash there. Yet again, the shield is cutting off this poor guy's face. And there's the Ice Beam we're expecting. Now this time, I did overfarm just in case. There's the Stunfisk, so I'm going to come in with my Mew. With Surf as a fast move, Mew it's going to do really, really well against Galarian Stunfisk. I of course have my own, but then you end up playing the bait game of who's going to throw Earthquake and who's going to shield, so Mew is just a safer matchup against Stunfisk than Stunfisk itself. They're throwing a Rock Slide, which does not need to be shielded. We're going to keep going now. They're throwing so quickly, there's no way that's an Earthquake, so we can safely let this one come through. Yet another Rock Slide. Now we can get to a Surf. We're going to overfarm just a little bit, just in case that Azu comes back, in the hope we can get a Wild Charge off. Let's have a look. And this goes unshielded, and let's have a look. Where's the Azu? We're expecting him. They're going to want some energy on that thing if they can get it to try and get ahead of Tropius. It's not an Azu, it's a Machamp. I might have been able to get to Wild Charge, but as it's a Shadow Machamp, even though counters are resisted, they will hurt. So we just went for a Surf in the end. Now I come in with Tropius. I go for a Leaf Blade because that's a Shadow. So even if this hits, it's going to do brilliantly, and there's a good chance they'll shield, which they do. Now look at that, Air Slash is chunking away. I'm going to throw up a shield just in case this is Rock Slide. It is Cross Chop, sadly, but that's okay. We've got enough Leaf Blades charged and they've got no shield, so even though I've just spent my shield, I knew if they came back in with Azu, I could throw a Leaf Blade and we were all sorted. Now there's that Machamp. We're going to throw one more, go for the Aerial Ace, and this will of course KO from that range, super effective against a Shadow Pokemon of a Pokemon that isn't the strongest anyway. Alright, there we go. Shadow Machamp, by the way, one of my all-time favourite picks. I run one for Ultra and I absolutely love it. but it is squishy, even more so in Great League, so you gotta look after it. One day I'll be sponsored, but not today. All right, game 4 against Gimbly Pimbly, I think that said. All right, Tropius on a Diggersby. Not an ideal lead. My fast moves are doing more than their fast moves though, so that's nice. But of course, Diggersby has access to Fire Punch, and that's almost definitely going to be what this is. Luckily, the punches are not particularly strong, plus it doesn't have stab, as Diggersby is not a fire type. My Leaf Blade is going to hit for super effective too, because grass is super effective against ground, and as suspected, they shield up. They come in with a Galvantula, so I swap in to Stunfisk. Stunfisk can take out Galvantula very easily. All of Galvantula's moves are resisted. The only real annoying part is the lunge debuff. So I'm coming in with a Rock Slide. I don't need to worry about them trying to catch, of course, because they are switch locked in. Now, they are almost definitely going to throw another move before I get to Rock Slide. There it is. Now, I believe what I do here is try and farm this all the way down. I don't really need to worry about looking after this Stunfisk because at this point he's debuffed so badly. Yeah, I just go for the complete farm down. Neither of them moves can KO me from here, so what this does is leave me with a ton of energy on the Stunfisk, plus not very much health, so there's minimal farm for when, as expected, the Diggersby comes in. Now we're going to throw a ground type Earthquake, which hits, not for much, but it does hit, and luckily we managed to get a Rock Slide off too. That said, this is going to do nothing. It's not a strong move anyway, especially when resisted by something as tanky as a Diggersby. There we go, and that is the complete farm down. Now we're going in for Mew, so Fire Punch isn't going to be hitting for super effective. That said, it's still going to hit for a little chunk because Mew's quite squishy. Yeah, it's not all that different to Tropius in the end. Alright, we're not going to shield this because we know we can take another Fire Punch. We're into the yellow though, which isn't ideal, but we managed to get to a Surf before they can get to a third Fire Punch. So yeah, just managed to hit that excellent, and that pulls us their last shield. Now, okay, they're swapping into Sableye. I'm going in myself with another Surf, and then I believe, or I hope anyway, I'm going to dip out to Tropius because this thing has Dark type moves. Yeah, there we go, dipping into Tropius. Sableye does horrible damage against Mew. Mew does not want to see that Sableye. Okay, Leaf Blade almost one hits there. Sadly, they managed to get their charge move through before we can take it out, but that's what the shields are for. So we do have one more shield left, so this shouldn't be the hardest match now. We should be able to take this one, if we could not lag and actually get an opponent. There we go. Okay, Diggersby is back. I'm not going to shield this one. I know I can take one more Fire Punch. Here we go. There's the Fire Punch, and they've got another one loaded immediately. So this time I have to shield up. There is still that Galv in the back, but it's got a millimetre of health, so I'm not too worried about that. Even if the Galv throws and takes out my Tropius, my Mew should be able to get off one fast move, which will do the Galv. But the Galv doesn't throw, and they end up forfeiting the game, and that's another win for the Tropius team. Fifth and final matchup. I'm sorry, this seems to be the theme of every video at the minute. Yet again, these games are not all from one set, because yet again, the lag is awful. I think it's the worst it's ever been at the minute. Okay, we're fighting Mew, possibly, sorry, and they're coming in with a Talonflame, which is terrible for Tropius. We're coming in immediately with Mew. Mew has Surf, which is going to hit for super effective, so it's a little bit softer of a counter than Stunfisk, which can hit for double super effective with Rock Slide. So if Mew gets taken out, I know Stunfisk can take Talonflame later. They went in for, okay, so they shielded, farmed a tiny bit, and then swapped in to Lantern. Unfortunately, all Mew's moves are going to hit Lantern for neutral. That said, Wild Charge will still do a decent amount, somewhere between a quarter and a third of their health, I believe. Okay, as I tend to do with Mew, we have double powered up our Wild Charge so we can throw 2 and not have to take fast moves between getting to the first and second. That will of course hit harder because of that debuff. Okay, and that is down. That's fantastic. Now, my Mew is a sitting duck at this point. With double debuffed defense, there's really no point saving this poor guy, so we're going to let Talonflame do his thing. This also ensures I can maintain switch advantage, so if they swap out, I can swap out too, So this means my poor grass boy doesn't get stuck against the fire boy. Alright, we're going to shield that, and now we're going to throw our rock slide. Now, I am playing a dangerous game here because when they shield this, which I presume they will, yes, we are now both down into the 0 shield. Now, for some reason, I'm not quite sure why, they swap out to Chestnut. If they'd stayed in, I think they might well have beaten me and gotten to Flame Charge before I got to Rock Slide. And if they'd have beaten me there, they'd have taken out Stunfisk, and then at that point, poor Tropius has got absolutely no play against that Talonflame. He can't do anything, and the game is theirs. But they did swap to Chestnut. Now, I resist everything Chestnut throws at me, so I just farm that poor thing all the way down, meaning I've got an aerial ace to throw at the Talonflame. This is going to hit for neutral, as flying does not resist itself. Now, I can luckily get, well, I can get to another charge move, which could probably be taken out from that range, but I overtapped and didn't throw it. But luckily for me, it doesn't actually matter because I have the Rock Slide charged and ready to roll on the Stunfisk. And that's everything for Tropius. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Please do leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and comment down below what you thought running Mew instead of Defense Deoxys. Don't forget, if you'd like to put in a suggestion for my next spicy video, head back to the Mew video, I'll pin a link in the comments, and comment on that one with which Pokemon you would like to see me run. If you enjoy Pokemon Go PvP, then I am here for you with 2 PvP videos minimum per week, so if that's something you'd like to see, don't forget to subscribe. And I think that's everything. Oh, Fight Club!